Four teams remain in Super Bowl contention. We'll show you how we got here. The Ravens would need a 2-point conversion to tie the game. And here it is. They've got the right play call, but unfortunately, Mark Andrews not able to hold on.
One of the all-time great Ravens. The fact that he drops that, it's just heartbreaking. He drops it, and it's going to be something that haunts him.
Yeah, you just hate it for him. But either way, the Bills win. Let's hear from both quarterbacks after the game.
All year, this team has heard we got no talent. We're too small. We can't stop the run. We're not good enough to compete. We've just put our head down and worked hard. I'm so proud of our defense. I'm so proud of our offense and special teams. What a complete win.
Every time we in situations like this, turnovers play a factor. Penalties play a factor. Tonight, the turnovers, we can't have that, and that's why we lost the game, because as you can see, we're moving the ball wonderfully. It's hold on to the ball. I'm sorry for my language, but annoying. I'm tired of
Ooh, man, I mean, you feel Lamar's frustration for sure, but let's focus on the Bills for now. Josh Allen has 11 passing and rushing touchdowns with 0 turnovers in his last 4 playoff games. He's just the 3rd different quarterback to do that in a 4-game span in NFL postseason history. Mahomes did it from 2019 to 2020, and Joe Montana had 2 overlapping spans from 1988 to 1990. What did you like about the game plan from Buffalo yesterday?
The Bills' offense won the way they've won all year long. Ball control football, patient performance from Josh Allen, spreading it around through the air, obviously not turning it over, and then physical domination on the ground. James Cook doesn't have the sexiest stat line, as you see below. It wasn't like Saquon Barkley's, right, where he had the big explosive runs. But make no mistake, he was fantastic in this one. And the Ravens' run defense has been excellent all year. This was their 2nd worst performance of the season in terms of the Bills' efficiency on the ground. Watching the offensive line back, they were just displacing the Ravens' 1st and 2nd level defenders. Duo, inside zone, tackle trap, pin pull. They run everything, and they run it really well, and the backs have great vision. This is a team that's built to win in January, and that's exactly what happened.
All offseason, it was Josh Allen has to become who Patrick Mahomes has become for this offense to work. You saw another example. That's exactly what's happened, and that's a credit to them. If you go to first down yesterday, they had 26 first down snaps, Buffalo. Okay, they ran the ball for 4.5 yards per clip on first down. Outstanding efficiency. Josh was 8 of 9 throwing the football on first down. Outstanding efficiency. He's the ultimate point guard right now. And that leads to some of those easy quarterback runs that get 7s instead of 3s. The quarterback sneak. Josh has to choose a gap, right or left. You don't want to go right next to the center because Marcus knows this. 2 defensive tackles there. A little hop to the left. That's an easy walk-in touchdown. I loved the design quarterback run that they take because you horizontally pull defenders outside, and that leaves one safety, just guy on guy for Josh Allen. There's a 60-pound advantage for Josh Allen right there. He gets hit at the 2.5, 3, and he carries everybody in. It is honestly remarkable hearing that stat that you started the show with, that he's gone 4 straight playoff games without giving the ball away when that was the thing that he was known for the first 3 or 4 years of his career. We aren't giving enough credit to that, and the fact that this offense has become remarkably efficient when it needed the most.
Efficient.
Yeah, the efficiency is what stood out to me, but the move that was made to go from Ken Dorsey to Joe Brady is the significant change for this football team and their philosophy. This is a physical football team that wants to run the football and let their sideboard quarterback with this immense talent take care of business on critical down and distance situations. And we've seen it time and time again. This is one of those examples of a 3rd down where you put the ball in Josh's hand and you tell him to go make a play. Down the field on number 21, Stevens, my God. But Shakir, big play. And then 4th and 2, you know whose hands it's going to be in. This is the brilliance, not only of Josh Allen being able to point guard this like you mentioned it, Dan, but the brilliance of Joe Brady and understanding the philosophical approach that he has with his football team. It's not only that they're built to win in the playoffs, they've been built to win for the last 13 or 14 weeks. And I will say this to y'all, it reminds me a lot of what we used to watch from the New England Patriots when it comes to offense, based on how they maneuver and change based on the type of game that they need to play week in and week out.
Except, Dan, really fast, I mean, no discredit to Tom Brady. He's obviously a GOAT, but Josh Allen has a skill set that he never had. So it's an X factor at that position.
There's also no Randy Moss or Gronk in their offense. I think it really is remarkable that Josh has gone from a player that was known for chaos and he's gone into control, a player that was known for reckless and he's gone into just aggression, a player that at times early on was careful and now he's just really smart with the football. And no, he wasn't remarkable yesterday when it came to the statistical performance, but in reality, the difference of the game is one team took care of the football in an incredibly high level, and one team didn't. And to beat an all-time great offense with the #1 ranked defense, and that's who Baltimore was, that's what was going to be necessary. They called it and they executed it that way.
Yeah. I mean, so many of the games were decided, not just in this round, but the round before, because the quarterback's turning the football over. And Josh Allen's, the fact that he's protected the football, not just in this game, not just in the postseason, but all year long, is a huge part. It's probably the biggest part, frankly, of why Buffalo is in this position. But Dan, I just can't get over his transformation as a quarterback. I mean, going back just a few years ago to him throwing the ball 40 yards downfield to a fullback trying to lateral it, totally different human being from the one we're seeing right now.
Think about that quarterback run when he gets stopped and he goes to that moment. He's like, I'm going to take this ball and pitch it to James Cook.
You could see him thinking about it. Yes. That's such a good point.
I mean, but this team, as I said on this show, I remember I made the statement that Dan almost lost his mind about being a dink and dunk team. Sometimes they needed to play boring football. And that's what I think they've evolved into. They understand that Josh talent, whenever it needs to come out, and he needs to be up around 35, 40 passes, even though you really don't want any quarterback living in that vein, that they have the opportunity to do that. But this football team is complete. And it starts with their run game, not their quarterback throwing the football.
Yeah, it's okay. Now, listen, so many times we called Josh Allen this YOLO ball, but it really has transformed. And this is crazy, too, you guys. It may not shock you, but the final 4 teams left in contention for the Super Bowl, they have a combined 0 turnovers this postseason. Don't turn it over. You got to keep playing. How about the Rams and the Eagles? Jalen Hurts and this Eagles team hosting L.A.
If he doesn't make that sack, the tight end is going to score and the Rams are going to win the football game. He gets pressure there. Again, that forces that errant throw by Stafford. That game is finished by Jalen Carter.
Here's Saquon Barkley after a big win.
Atmosphere was crazy, man. I mean, it was insane. Like, got a smile on my face thinking about it. Like, this is what you dream about. This is why I came to Philly. I wanted to be a part of games like this, and I'm just happy to be able to be a part of it.
Makes me smile, too. I'm happy for him. Saquon may not have gotten the single-season rushing record during the regular season, but he can still catch Terrell Davis for the most in a season, including the playoffs. After his 205 yards in the divisional, Barkley enters the NFC Championship, needing 148 rushing yards to pass Terrell Davis in 1998 for the most by any player in a single season, including the playoffs. Marcus, how did the Eagles use that run game to their advantage yesterday?
Yeah, they move people out of the way. We showed one of the bigger runs, but you create light boxes, and that's what this team devastated people with when they were on their way to the Super Bowl. It was more so a condensed, but now Kellen Moore understands the explosiveness of both of these guys in the backfield. You see here, shotgun formation, just Saquon. Look at all the defenders that's removed. Even when you're creeping up, the problem is Saquon draws so much attention. You break one tackle, Jalen gets down the sideline, and that's for 6. That's the run game. Now, I know it's the quarterback, it's the run game. 4-by-1, we talked about it. Get all of these defenders out of the way. Y'all don't exist. The first person to attempt to tackle Saquon Barkley is the deep safety, which is not going to happen because it hasn't happened all season long, and they get into the end zone as well. There were more of these opportunities for the Philadelphia Eagles. But the way that they now are starting to create light boxes and take advantage of your numbers with a running back that is going to make the first defender miss and nobody can track him from behind because of the breakaway speed, this is a problem and an issue for every defense that they're going to have to face going forward in the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl potentially.
Yeah, the strain that this run game puts on you to do everything well by everybody on the defense is really unique. You can't get a defensive tackle to go the wrong gap. You can't get a fit by a backer or a second-level guy with the wrong shoulder. You can't have an angle by a safety that is a foot or two off. I mean, that's the danger of playing this run game. I don't remember a run game that was this explosive. We've seen great run games in the NFL. We've seen, 2 or 3 years ago, dominant run games by this Eagles football team. But the explosive element is one that has absolutely changed ever since Saquon Barkley came there. And Marcus, I honestly don't know. A lot of teams defensively try to defend the pass with shell and stop the run with an extra safety or body down there. I actually think bringing an extra body down there is even more dangerous, because then if he gets past it, there's nobody left.
Yeah.
Brother, you trying to hold the fort, bro. You hoping that you could create a negative play within one of those offensive sequences. But I'm with you. You almost got to play them top down like you play the passing game and hope that you can force them into a mistake or lockdown in the red area. Yeah, it's crazy.
So Jalen Hurts didn't have to do a lot in this game, but the passing game obviously has to be better for them to win a Super Bowl. And one thing specifically that jumped out to me watching this, there's a lot we can get into about Hurts and his performance. Simulated pressures gave him fits in this one. Outside of the Hail Mary, on half of the sacks, there was some sort of defender dropping from the line of scrimmage, and it gave Jalen Hurts pause after the snap, and that was enough for the Rams to get home. If I'm Dan Quinn watching this, I implement a heavy dose of simulated pressures when I go up against this Eagles team. And by the way, if they get past them, I can tell you that Steve Spagnuolo or Sean McDermott and his defense are going to do the same.
I totally agree. Obviously, 63 yards lost with those 7 sacks. You know, last week we had the conversation where, like, I felt nobody really got open. Green Bay defensively knew where they were going to be. Wasn't the case yesterday. I honestly believe that guys were there. I honestly believe more often than not, Jalen looked through the right direction. For some reason, he just didn't throw the football. Now, I don't know if it's a weather thing, it's a risk-adverse thing, it's a don't give the ball away and we'll win thing, it's a I'm not trusting what I'm looking at, confidence or lack thereof situation. I agree it's got to get better. I don't think it's going to with a week and or 2 remaining for this offense.
I also don't think they have to be a prolific passing team to win the Super Bowl. I don't think they are ever. I don't think a defense can put them in that situation where you just force them to have to throw the ball 30 or 40 times. Y'all, we just finished talking about Josh Allen throwing 22 passes. You're not supposed to win games like this. The difference is that they took care of the football for the Philadelphia Eagles took care of the football. I truly believe that this run game is as prolific as any pass game that you can find in the NFL.
You know, Jalen Hurts has historically been risk-averse, even all the way back to college. You wonder if that's part of it, to Dan's point, but also there was that injury. All eyes will be on Jalen Hurts' knee this week. What do we know at this point?
Well, Laura, the good part is he was able to finish the game on Sunday, which would tell you that barring something that is a major setback, he is expected to be out there in the NFC Championship game. He's taken quite a beating over the last month. We'll see how it impacts his style of play, whether or not they're as willing to run the tush-push. But again, the fact that he came back in was an encouraging sign for his availability against the Commanders on Sunday. As for Quinyon Mitchell, went out of the game yesterday, got hurt. Obviously, they're hoping that he's going to be okay. They don't think it's serious right now, even though he was ruled out yesterday with the shoulder injury. After the game, he himself said he expects to play in the NFC Championship game. And again, it's going to be a lot to take a player to sit out this game, whether it's Jalen Hurts or Quinyon Mitchell. But the Commanders' offensive tackle, Sam Cosmi, will not play. He tore his ACL. He's out for the season. That is a disappointing blow for him. For the Commanders, he was arguably their best offensive lineman. Washington will have to overcome his absence and figure out a way to replace him. It helps when you have a quarterback who can move around the way that Jaden Daniels is, but there's no way that you could lose a player the likes of Sam Cosmi and not feel it somehow, some way in Sunday's NFC Championship game.
Man, you just hate it for Cosmi after the entire season. A great season for these Commanders. He won't be able to contribute further.